Hey everyone, I just got an update on this 5SFE build I'm working on. All the pistons have been cleaned up. I've measured the piston diameter in my micrometer, and using that measurement and the measurement of the bore, I can figure out what the piston to cylinder wall clearance is. That's an important measurement. We don't want it too loose, we don't want it too tight. The piston rings, I've completed these as well. They were a little bit on the tighter side, probably around factory 5 SFE tolerance. However, since we're going to be turbocharging this motor, I went ahead and opened up the ring gap just in case. We don't need the gaps butting up. But you can see I took a little bit out of it. So anyways, they should be good now. We shouldn't have any issues with rings butting up and causing issues there. So whenever I measure these things, basically I put the ring in there by hand, take a piston with another ring in it, and this will help keep it square and true. So this should be pretty square. Take a measurement. Obviously this is the wrong piston ring for this build, but it's just an example. Anyways, I'll take it over here to my ring grinder. It's just a dead man switch with my drill with a zip tie holding the trigger at a low RPM, and I'll actually just stick it on here and grind a little bit away at a time. Once I've ground this, I'll clean it up with a small file to get the burrs off of it, and then stick it back in here, square it up, and then measure it again. So that's how I did these. So we should be good. I'm just going to show you a quick comparison on pistons real quick, and that way I can give you an idea of what to watch out for. This is the piston I'm using. It's a revision, or it's a 5SFE revision 2 piston. This one is a revision 1, so this is like the earlier 91 piston, and as you can see, it's got a couple weak points. There's a hole here for oil to return once it's scraped it, cleaned it off, so it just flows back that way, but they put a real big gap in there. This one, they just have 4 small holes, and that helps strengthen it up a little bit down there. Also, keep in mind, this is a piston from a Camry. The rings got smaller, but also the ring lands got smaller as well, so there's not as much strength in the piston ring lands. So that's why this is the piston I'm using. It should be beefy enough to get this job done. So we'll see how well it holds up. But those are the ones we're running in this build. So all the pistons have been measured, rings are done. So everything should be set up in here. Our next step is going to be going over this crankshaft and rods. We got to get measurements and figure out if we need new bearings, or what it's going to need to get this done. So that will be our next step. So just keep an eye out for that update, and I'll see you then.